Welcome back. We're on day 2 of my YouTube challenge, and I have no idea how long this YouTube challenge is going to last. I'm not following a challenge. It's my own challenge. I'm challenging myself. And so I'm excited to dive in. So yesterday I recorded a video that was really in what I called the imperfect situation, the most imperfect situation. It was Sunday night. It was dark outside. The lights were, terrible and all of that. So now I'm in the office facing the other way with my direct light in front of me and on the side of me and just jumping in like this. What I also came to notice is that I also hate this backdrop. So we talked about that last night a little bit about how it's one of the things that have been stopping me from posting on YouTube is the fact that I feel like I'm not settled in the way that my office is set up, and therefore like what backdrop would be going on, etc. But the best thing happened last night. So I, of course got the video uploaded. I was so excited, and I was like stalking the, YouTube page where it's like, how many views did I get? Did anybody like it? And it was super fun because my husband and I were watching it together. What was funny as we were watching it is I realized none of my edits made the video. So 2 things with that. Number 1 is that you watched an unedited video. If you watched it, I don't know. Either way, it's an unedited video, which I felt like was like the cherry on top of the whole situation is that video didn't get edited like I thought it was. And number 2, what I learned is the best part is that I actually went through a process of doing all the edits. So I'm just using iMovie. It's free. It's on my Mac. And I was watching a YouTube video, YouTube University. I was watching a YouTube video as I was doing the editing. So literally I was like, these are such imperfect edits, but it's amazing. I learned how to do music in the background. I learned how to do like these floating things on the screen, how to do text, all of that kind of stuff to go along with my numbers, and none of it worked. I also used a voiceover at the end, because that's something I want to do eventually. And that also nothing worked. It was literally an unedited video. So this morning when the last night I noticed it, but then this morning I was like, you know what? I should figure out what happened and re-upload the edited video. And then I had to take a step back. Actually, I took 2 steps back to think about it and say like, no, that's actually perfect for that video. It's the perfect scenario because I did learn to do the edits. I uploaded the video. I stuck along with my challenge, all of that stuff. So I'll just, what I'm titling this video today is 2 steps forward, no steps back. So today's video hopefully will be at least a little bit edited. I didn't even do a lot of crazy things. I was just so proud about getting things on the timeline and, like I said, the music and all of that. So anyway, so probably today's video will be edited. That's my hope. I don't know. In the process, I actually got my Remarkable with me, my handy dandy Remarkable. I do have a couple other reasons why I have avoided posting. So I know yesterday I said there's probably a million, but these are the top 5 that are coming to my my mind. But today I was able to really just think about like, no, why else have I been avoiding posting? Let's just get it out in the open so that we can all just start on the same page. So number 1, I'll just start off number 1 because I don't even know what number I left off last night. Number 1, I sort of have an undefined niche. And anything that you know of with the YouTube world, everybody's like niche down, the riches are in the niches, all that kind of stuff. And I get it and I understand why. But the problem is that on the Strength Finders, one of my top 10 strengths is includer. And so it's just part of my natural sense that I feel like I want to be inclusive. I want to include everybody. So it's really tricky for me to narrow down. The other component is that I've spent thousands and thousands of words figuring out or trying to figure out what the bottom line is. Like, who is it that I'm actually trying to reach? What is it that I'm actually trying to say? And I'm just deciding that I'm going to talk this out. I'm going to work it out in real time. And I know that my niche or, the ecosystem here that's going to come from this, I know that it will be birthed from doing it. So I'm just going to move forward. But that is a main reason why I've not been posting because I don't actually feel like I have it defined. Okay, the second thing is these are all so I get it. Saying it out loud, if someone were to say this to me, I'd be like, you're kidding. That is why you're not posting? That's why you're not moving forward on what you know you're supposed to be doing? Okay, great. But these are real things. So the second reason is that I'm like, what do I call my channel? I feel like it should be some like super clear kind of clever name, but what do I call my channel? And therefore, if I call my channel that, does it have to match the website? Does it have to match the branding? Does it have to, like, all of these 9 layers deep? And so then I was like, well, I'll just call it by my name. I mean, for now, and then I'll just name the channel later. Well, crazy story, super short, is that apparently like 10 years ago, I opened a YouTube account with my name, and I have zero idea. I've had 2 email addresses for the last, like, I don't know how many ever years, and neither of those email addresses are connected to it. So I can't actually figure out where that YouTube channel is coming from, which means I can't get my name off of it, which means it's taken. My name is taken by my own YouTube channel that I have no idea where it originated from. So then I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it something like Sunshine Said, sort of, or like Digging Deep with SV, when I think about, the fact that my business name is the Groundwater Group, and I don't want my business name to be sunshinevinson.com. It's a whole thing. So then I'm like, what do I name my channel? And so that's been stopping me from posting. Okay, so number 3. If I move forward with a YouTube channel, then I obviously should have everything else done too. So I can't start a YouTube channel yet, because if I have a YouTube channel, then I want to start a podcast. And if I start a podcast, then I obviously should have a blog. And I know for sure I'm going to be creating digital products. So those should also be done so that I'd have somewhere to point people to get their email addresses. And so I might as well just not post on YouTube, because here we are. I have none of those things completed. They're all halfway started. None of them are completed. So that's been really stopping me, because it's not all the way done. I know. Number 4. This is this is kind of funny, but it's true. So I am very passionate about executive leadership, and executive coaching and all of those sorts of things. But what I've actually come to find is that I don't love executive coaching in the sense that everybody equates executive coaching with. I love executive coaching, but for the everyday leader. And one of the things that really helped me to see this is that I'm a very plain person, and I don't appear to be professional at all. And I don't like to play like I'm a professional, because it's just like not me. And I say that in a way that's like this version of professional. And I know that there are about 100 different versions of what that can look like. But I'm talking about specifically the one that I've crafted in my head. That's just not me. I wore this hoodie yesterday. I will likely wear it again tomorrow or the next day or whatever. I'm very plain, and I don't appear to be professional at all. And so I think that has really stopped me, because I'm like, well, if I can't, if I'm trying to go after this specific market, which I don't know what my defined niche is, and I'm not professional enough, whatever. So I'm actually in a rebrand right now on my business website, because I realized that I was taking everything I knew from the corporate side and trying to make my website kind of feel that corporate vibe. Well, that's not me at all. That's literally why I left corporate America. And so I have kind of been going through this like stripping away process. And what I wrote down is just that I'm very plain, and I am not, nor do I care to be like super professional. So that's one reason I haven't been posting on YouTube. 2 things are true here. I am a clothing minimalist, very much so. And then also the other component of that is that I feel like I've gotten a little bit lax with my dress code, and I like it that way. Like this is me. I just wear hoodies almost every single day of my life. Sometimes I wear a t-shirt and jeans sort of person, but that's that. I'm pretty plain. But it's actually stopped me from posting on YouTube. Crazy, huh? I know. It's wild. Number 5, what will this mean for my friends if I create a YouTube channel? Like, will they feel awkward? Like, hey, they have to say that they like watched my channel, or do I even tell them I have a channel? It's all of that. But what will this mean for my friends? And the problem is that I have really incredible friends who I drag them into a lot of things. And so I'm like, are they going to want to be dragged into this? I'm likely going to try to drag them into this, but then will they feel bad for saying no? It's all these things that I go through the process. The other component of that is like, I desperately want to do interviews. I've got a whole list of people I want to do interviews with, and they're just everyday people. Like, they're mostly my friends or people I have direct contact with. And then I'm like, okay, if I do an interview style, obviously I don't want them like right here next to me. So how do I do that? Do I just record Zoom? Do I just upload Zoom? Split screen? Do they have a good mic? This is why I'm not posting on YouTube. So anyway, that's that. Okay. Number 6, I'm in the middle of my own life transition. There, I said it. So one of the groups of people that I really want to work with and help are people who are either on the brink of or in the middle of a life transition. And I think that's where I'm at my best, and I feel on myself, but I know that positions me well. But I'm just saying, I'm kind of in the middle of a life transition. My career, what I'm passionate about, all of that sort of stuff. I'm just re-examining. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so then number 7, this one's a little longer. Number 7 is the domain and defining my own business. Okay, so I kind of touched on this a little bit about the whole, like, do I use my name? Do I use the business name? What do I do here? When? I'm one of those people I used to own 1 million domains. I feel like I've cut down quite a bit, but still it's quite a few. And so with that, I realized that I just don't know like how I want to align everything. And so the domain name and defining my business name, all of that. What's funny about last night and posting the YouTube video is I realized my banner on YouTube has, it's like, oh, this personal development, leadership growth, etc. sunshinevincent.com. Well, guess what? That website doesn't exist. The domain exists, and it was my intention for the website to exist. It just doesn't exist. So I need to obviously change that, which I'll be doing. But it just kind of goes back to that whole, like, how do I brand all of this? And I can see the bigger picture. And so I'm just having trouble kind of taking those smaller steps. Number 8 is I've had quite an evolution of the Groundwater Group, which is my business. Again, I kind of touched on this, but when I first launched the business, it was very executive coaching, organizational health, team building, all of that. And so it had this like very, what I feel like corporate-y vibe. I hated all of that. It didn't feel natural, and it's my business. So I should feel like I love what I'm building. So I essentially have come to realize how much I love the individual leaders that I got to work with within that process. So, I care about the team health, but I really care about the leader health. I care about like the organization being successful, but I really care about the person who maybe doesn't even run the organization. They just work in the organization. I care about their life being successful. I care about their marriage. I care about their family. I care about like their individual health and all of that. So I realized that the evolution of the Groundwater Group has just it's probably going to be reiterated 100 other times too. So I just need to get really comfortable with that. But that's one of the things that has stopped me from posting on YouTube, is because I feel like it might be confusing, but I'm realizing I just need to work it out as I go. Number 9, I wrote down keeping my YouTube notes organized on my Remarkable. I know that sounds crazy, but probably like anybody else in the world, I have some that live in Evernote. I have some that live in Google Drive. I have like all these just random notes. So when I got the Remarkable, it was a really great way for me to just funnel everything into one single place. So much so that I bought a bag, crossbody type purse. I bought a purse that would literally fit it. I mean, I said, if I'm going to make this work, like it's got to be on me at all times. So now I'm just trying to figure out how the best way one of the best ways to like organize all my notes or just thoughts, etc. But it's like preventing me from posting, because then I'm thinking like, am I going out of order? It's a mess. Lastly, number 10. Well, lastly for now that I thought about, all my videos are not going to be like this. I just need to get it out of the way before I can move on to other things. But number 10 is this interesting thing that I can talk about. What I wrote, how I wrote it, was basically trying to shove everything I know about one thing in one video. And this really came out of, I'll talk more about this, but I am part of a doctoral program, or I guess I sort of was part of a doctoral program. But in the last class that I took in the summer, my professor, who, to be honest, I didn't really agree with most things that they were talking about, or I just felt like it was great for me though, because I was able to think about like, why do I think something, or what research can I come up with that blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the whole point is that he was addressing the whole class, but as he was teaching us how to write like a doctoral student, which I appreciated, basically he was saying, you stick to your number, like the word count. So if the word count was 2,000, do not go over 2,000. It should be within 10%, plus or minus, but like don't go over 2,000. And essentially what he was trying to get us to understand is we don't have to shove everything we know into one single paper. It's like, no, refine it. But then all that other stuff that pulled out, you can use it for other things. You can use it for other posts, other papers, other speeches, other whatever, fill in the blank. And that was really mind shifting for me, because it's this scarcity mindset. This is one reason that I don't post on YouTube. It's like this scarcity mindset of like, okay, if I only have 15 minutes, I need to shove everything I have. But the reality is like, well, actually I have as long as I want and as many videos as I want. So I can break it up. I can make it super easy to understand. I can make it very easy to digest, etc. So anyway, that's number 10. Also, I talk fast and I hear about it a lot. So that's another reason that I know I don't post on YouTube, is because I'm like, I just get all worked up and then I'm like, let's talk about it. So I'll learn about pace. I'll learn about that sort of thing. But anyway, I really appreciate you coming back, or maybe this is your first video here and you showing up. And so with my list, so today was 10, yesterday I think was 5. So that's 15 reasons, 15 things, 15 barriers that have been standing in my way for posting. And so I just want to invite you to explore, like, what is the thing that you're really being drawn to do, and what barriers are standing in your way, or what things are you allowing to stop you from moving forward in that? I will probably use this word. I don't mean this word, but we'll hear like, oh, I'm making all these excuses. And it's like, well, some of them are excuses, but some of them are also explanations. And that is it's not just like a way to refine or, shift what I really mean. It's actually a way for me to approach it differently. I don't have to be so hard on myself. Obviously, I have 15 reasons why I've not been doing this, 15 plus probably more. And so I know that, these are just barriers. Some of them are excuses, sure, but some of them really are actually legitimate explanations. And so I just want to invite you to see, like, maybe you have something that you are being drawn to, but you're just not taking steps forward. And I want to invite you to look and see, what are your barriers, and be honest about them. Put them down, write them out on paper, no matter how crazy or embarrassing or silly they might seem. Actually write them out, because the beautiful gift is those things in my head are like scary monsters in a closet, but out loud, I'm like, oh, that's not so bad, but this is real. This is what I'm facing, but I don't want to face that alone anymore. And I don't want it to be the thing that holds me back. So anyway, that's that. Thanks for sticking around. This video is a little bit longer than yesterday. We'll see how the editing goes. We'll see what actually gets posted. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening.
I can't believe we did it. We recorded video number 2.